I was actually, my sister was kind of able to post this one, as if they have me on a GPS monitor. And I can't really find somewhere to GPS monitor to. Thank you. Because they said that, the stipulation, I have to, any house I go to, they have to have a letter from the owner of the property and take it to them to say that I can go to the property. And I didn't understand that because I've never really been in trouble in San Antonio. I have no cases in San Antonio. I could make the bond, but the GPS monitor was keeping me from bonding.
Mr. Salmon, what is wrong with you?
Nothing. I'm trying to put
Why
my
can't
mask
you
up.
behave? No, you're not.
I don't want to get
You're
in
making
trouble.
faces. No, stop the nonsense. This is the third time you have been in this courtroom and you have done things that are inappropriate. I'm not tolerating it anymore. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I left Wayne Young a message.
All right, thank you.
Yes, no, AGIS1. But my father, he's currently mentally ill, so I kind of.
All right, everyone, welcome to the 187th District Court. I hope that everyone is having a great morning. These are the rules of the 187th District Court. One, you're in a courtroom, even though you're at your house, wherever you are, you're in a courtroom. And because you're in the 187th District Courtroom, you need to behave as though you're in a courtroom. That means no smoking if you're at home. And if you are walking around, please find a place that is stationary because walking around makes everyone dizzy and it's hard for the court reporter to be able to hear you. To all the people who are at the jail, do not use the chat box. You're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be taken back to your cell. Mr. Salmon, this is the third time that you have been on Zoom, that you have behaved inappropriately. If you behave inappropriately again because of the pandemic, you will be sent back to your cell and the court will probably see you in 90 days. To everyone else, you are not here to pick up dates. This is not The Bachelor. This is not The Bachelorette. Do not do it. To everyone else, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, you need to put it in the chat box to the court coordinator. She's listed as in Ferguson. Do not chat her or text her asking her to reset your case. I'm the only person who will do that. I'm the only person who can excuse you. I will open the breakout rooms. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically assign you to a breakout room. To all the defendants, I'm going to call your attorney's name, not your name. If you do not hear your attorney's name, that means that they're probably Zooming in another courtroom. Rest assured, you will get a chance to hear and speak with your attorney today. Attorneys, as you'll notice, there are more defense attorneys than there are prosecutors. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. When I send you to a breakout room, please wait there. Consider it like when you go to the hospital. That breakout room is where they're checking your blood pressure and your weight before a doctor comes to see you. Prosecutors have the ability to move in and out of the breakout rooms. I'm going to call the order in which the attorneys will appear. Attorneys, if you see your name is low on the list and you want to Zoom to another court, you can. However, if you Zoom to another court and your name has been called, you will be put at the end of the list. Colin Hobbs, Douglas Kampmeyer, Judge George Dunbar, Jason Nitz, Jeffrey Martinez, Kathy Starling, Oscar Hernandez, Jorge Canales, Brenda Levinstein. Is there anyone whose name I missed? All right, Jerry Valadez, anyone else? All right, Colin Hobbs, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Emeterio Hernandez.
What's the first name?
Emeterio, E-M-E-T-E-R-I-O. I believe he's under sales. No, he just changed it to E. Hernandez.
All right, and is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's gonna be family violence, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Douglas Capmeyer,
Gloria Carrizales, Your Honor. She's in custody. If I can get a breakout with her,
have you spoken to a prosecutor?
I have an offer.
All right, and it's Gloria, what's the last name?
Carrizales,
Okay.
Carrizales.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. Ms.
Thank you, Judge.
Carrizales, if you'll go to number 2. George Dunbar.
Morning, Your Honor. I have Ramsey Gonzalez.
Is it family violence or CTD?
I believe it would be considered family violence, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jason Nitz.
Judge, I sent you a chat.
Yes, I see it.
Thank you.
This is for James Lidgey.
Who do you have?
James Lidgey.
All right, yes. James, and how do you spell the last name?
Lidji. I believe it was added last night. That's the first.
Spell the
I
last
knew of
name,
it.
please.
Lidji.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial. This might be about a transfer to the mental health court, though.
I'll send you to breakout room number 4. Jeffrey Martinez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have a Matthew Garcia,
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
criminal trial.
I'll send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Kathy Starling.
Good morning, Your Honor. I have Jesse Martinez, and it is family violence.
I'll send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you.
Oscar Hernandez.
Good morning. I have 2. I have Fabian Herrera, CTD. We've recently submitted the PTD application.
All right, just one moment. Let's stop right there. Norma on Fabian Herrera.
Yes, ma'am.
They're saying that they are submitted the application for PTD. So we're here for an update on that. If you could check on that one.
Yes, ma'am. Give me just a moment.
All right, and who's your other client?
Myra Santos, you recalled her, I guess, from last week on a violation report.
Is she here?
Myra
Santos.
She's probably going to be one that's calling in. She doesn't have internet at her house, remember?
All right, I'll wait for her. Yes.
The one that was having, didn't have a phone or anything, you told her to either appear or try to find someone that can either help her with Zoom. That's why you recalled it for this week.
All right.
It's
And
not
Jordan, I will
Oh.
make you a co-host. Sorry about that. And I'm sorry, Oscar Hernandez, we'll wait to see if your client shows up in court.
Okay, Judge, if she's not here before 10, I'm going to log off. I have a contested custody case in Medina County that I'm going to join in, and I'll check back in a break or so.
All right, just give us a moment on your other client, Norma on Fabian Herrera.
Yes, ma'am.
He said we were here today for a PTD update.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to get a hold of them. They don't answer right now, so I'm gonna shoot them an email real quick.
All right, thank you. All right, Jorge Canales.
Good morning, Judge. I have Hilo Cisneros. It's a PSI. There's another attorney on the case also, Adrian Perez.
All right,
There's
Norma,
several
you can
cases.
see it. Was your case the case that was pled on?
It was a TIC on the case that was pled.
So your case was taken into consideration?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, so then we're just waiting on Adrian Pettis.
I have the robbery case.
All right, just give us a moment. We're going to try to get Adrian in here.
Excuse me, Judge.
He pled on both, Judge.
Oh, he pled on both? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Rebecca?
Can you put me to breakout room 1, please?
All right. Yes. All right, just give us a moment. Jorge, Brenda Levinstein. Brenda Levinstein.
Yes, I'm here. It's Emily Casillas. She's in custody. It's a drug case.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jerry Valdez. Jerry Valdez. Is he frozen? Jerry Valdez, you need to unmute. All right. Raphael Leon.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
Victor Manuel Vela, family violence.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
All
The
right.
prosecutor will meet you there.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Judge,
Milton Butler. I'm sorry, yes.
It's okay, Your Honor. Whenever you have a chance, I'm back from a breakout room.
Yes. Alexandra.
With Mr. Jason Nitz, it's a violation report on James Lytle. And I believe he was rearrested. He's, as far as defense has told me,
Lidgey,
a mental health eval. The violation was for not reporting to pretrial, but he's been arrested.
All right, Norma, on James Lidgey.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he coming to court today?
I did not know he was arrested, but I can make that happen. Just give me 1 second.
All right, let's see where he is, Mr. Nitz. Milton Butler, who do you have?
I have Joel Gale. It's 2021 CR.
Is it family
No,
violence?
no, it's not.
Criminal
No,
trial
it's not.
division?
Criminal trial division.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry Valdez. Mr. Salmon, remain sitting up in your seat. Jerry Valdez. All right. Helio Cisneros, where are you? All right, thank you. Immaterio Hernandez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Why are you not in the courtroom?
Judge, I actually called the court yesterday around 3 or so and asked if he needed to be in person or on Zoom. And the clerk in the back that I discussed it with pulled the file, so there was nothing on the file about him being in person.
That's why I was sent in an email for him to be in person.
It was sent after 5, Your Honor. I didn't check my email till this morning, so I told my client that he was to be on Zoom based on my conversation with the clerk.
All right. Where is he? Where is he? Is he in Bexar County?
He is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, you need to come to the 187 District Court.
Yes,
Judge,
ma'am.
we're actually missing the Veterans Treatment Court evaluation. Are you going to want to go forward without that or not?
Yeah, well, why don't we have the Veterans Court
He
evaluation?
says he's done it. Rebecca, actually, we brought her into the breakout room with us, says she contacted them, but hasn't heard back yet.
All right, Norma, who's the prosecutor in Veterans Treatment Court?
I think it's Maritza now, Judge.
All righty. let's see if we can get one of the prosecutors from Veterans Court in here to tell us if he was accepted or not.
Yes, Your
Honor. Here, I'll text her.
All right, thank you. And Norma, can you see if Mr. Wang Yang can zoom in, please?
Yes, ma'am. Adrian's running a few minutes late, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Also, when I want to grow up, I want to be Sarah Winarka at the U.S. Attorney's Office. Every time you call her, she's like super nice. She's responsive. She gets stuff done like that day, whereas everybody else won't even call you back.
Oh.
I want to grow up to be Sarah Winarka.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
on Gloria Carrizales, she asked for a 2-week reset so she could visit with her parole officer before we do anything on her cases here.
All right, I need her to come back to the main room. Ms. Carrizales, can you unmute, please?
It's all the way at the corner on the bottom.
All right, Ms. Carrizales,
Yes, ma'am.
when is your probation coming to meet? I mean, your parole officer coming to meet with you? Do you know?
I'm gonna have.
Morning, Judge.
I'm gonna have somebody call him for me. My family call them and let them know what's going on.
Hello. Can anybody hear
Oh,
me?
Jerry Valdez,
Oh,
we can
I'm sorry.
hear you.
Good
I'm in
morning,
the middle
Judge.
of a
I'm sorry I had you on
conversation.
mute, Judge. I was on talking to Judge Moore right now on another hearing.
Okay, I'm in a conversation right now with someone else.
I'm sorry,
Miss-
Judge.
Ms. Carrizales, what were you saying?
I'm gonna have my family call my parole and just so I can discuss it with my family and my parole officer.
All right, defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, on Gloria Marie Carrizales, can you give this a 2-week reset, please?
You said 2 weeks, Judge?
Yes.
Yeah, give me 1 second. We can come back on April 28th, Judge.
All right, we'll be back on April 28th, Ms. Carrizales.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Norma, can you let them know L23 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Joe Ray, can you pop back into the breakout room for a second?
Okay.
Ms. Carrizales? Oh, she's.
All right. Anyone else back from the breakout room?
Judge, can you send Ramsey Gonzalez to breakout room number 3?
How is Mr. Gonzalez listed on the screen?
Thought he was an inmate, but let me check.
Ramsey Gonzalez, where are you? He's actually not on the screen.
Okay. Oh, he's on bond. Let me go back and talk to George, okay?
All right, thank you. Anyone else ready? All right, Norma, yes, Jerry Valdez, who do you have?
I have Roman Gonzalez, Judge, recall from yesterday. I don't know if he's appeared today. The bondsman, I spoke to the bonds company yesterday. They have lost contact with him since December. They gave me a referral number on him. I called that number. I spoke to a friend of his. She hasn't had any contact with him. And
All right, I
the
give
number
everybody
was
till,
connected.
all right, I give everybody till 10:30 to show. So if you want to zoom out and zoom back in at 10:30, you can. If you want to confer with the state now, you can confer with the state now.
No, okay, Judge, I'll I guess zoom back in because I have no contact with this guy at all.
Okay, all right, we'll see you back at 10:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I sent you a chat.
All right, thank you. All right, Maritza.
Morning, Judge.
Stewart. Good morning. All right, Oscar, I believe it was not Oscar Hernandez. It was Colin Hobbs. Colin Hobbs.
I think you went to a breakout room, Judge.
All right, he's in breakout room number 1. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. We're trying to figure out what is happening on Veterans Court with one of his clients.
Okay.
Oh, there she is.
And the client is Immaterial Hernandez. Do you need a cause number?
Sure.
It's 2019 CR 8395.
Okay. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you. Rafael Leal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I confer with Mr. Martin, the prosecutor, and he conveyed an offer. I need to convey and discuss that with my client. This is a sexual assault judge.
Victor Vela, where are you? I believe he's in custody. Is that correct?
Correct. And also,
right.
Judge, they need to subpoena the CPS records, and they will do that today and see if how much of it I can get.
All right. If you'll go back to breakout room number 8 so you can meet with your client. Mr. Vela, go to number 8. And Mr. Leal, if you finish conferring with your client, come back to the main room with your client.
Yes, ma'am.
Jorge Canales, we're still waiting on Adrian. Brenda Livingston.
Your Honor, may I go into a breakout room with my client, Miss Emily Casillas? She's in custody.
Emily Casillas, where are you?
Right
All
here.
right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7, and Miss Livingston, if you'll go back to 7.
Okay.
Judge,
Yes.
I don't know who my who my lawyer is or anything. I just
What
got
is your name?
Mary Helen Lopez.
That's a compliance hearing, Judge.
You're here for a client compliance hearing. Just give me a second. Judy Wimmer.
Thank you.
Yes. Who do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I have a sentencing on Isaiah Ibarra. He should be in custody.
All right. Have you received the PSI report? Or was there a PSI report for this one?
There was, Judge, and then we were going to do a screening for to see if he qualified for a dual diagnosis. And
all right,
that
let
was
me send
supposed to
you.
be done by,
all right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10.
okay.
And we'll see what probation. I'm going to send probation in number 10 with you, so she can make sure you have everything that has been completed. Javier Padilla.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
Jeremy Fernandez.
You said Jeremy?
Jerry, I'm sorry, Jerry Fernandez.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
I think it's criminal trial, Judge.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 11.
Thank you.
And a prosecutor will meet you there. All right, and Miss Mary Helen Lopez, just give me a moment. Mr. Fernandez. Brenda, I think it's going to be a blank day today. All right, Ms. Lopez, if you can unmute for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Lopez, we're not on the record, but this is just me having a conversation with you to get
Yes,
your
ma'am.
attention. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're on deferred adjudication for possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
That means if you don't do what you're supposed to do while you're on deferred adjudication, I can send you to prison for 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So the issue we have with you is you continue to test positive for alcohol and cocaine.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is going on?
I slipped.
What do you need to remain clean and sober?
I am going to start my classes, and that's going to help me. I moved. I've done everything. I moved away from all of it. I got myself a house. I've done everything. Now I'm just going to start. I started my parenting classes last week. I'm waiting to start my classes that you assigned me to. And if you give me one more chance, you will never see me again.
If you're tested today, what are the results going to be? And know that I have the ability to have you tested today. So you need to be honest.
Negative. I got tested for COVID yesterday. My fiance has.
Now, here's the thing. People always bring up COVID when they don't want their drug test. When's the last time you used?
I
And
haven't
you need to be honest with me.
I haven't used.
That's not what the report is saying, because otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Well,
You think we're here because you haven't used?
That's the last time I used, ma'am. Because I mean, like I said, I messed up. I'm gonna own up to my mistake. I did mess up. That's why I am here.
So that UA they gave you on April 1st, what are the results going to be?
It should be negative.
All right, if those UA results are positive, we're gonna have another meeting, you and me. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I completely understand. Like I said, I've moved. I've done everything I possibly can. I'm ready to start my classes. Everything.
Rebecca.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Lopez, I want to know what the results are for that April 1st date when you get them.
I'm checking to see if they have been inputted.
All right, thank you. Wayne Young.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Yes. Have you got an offer from the state on your client, Mr. Salmon?
No, Your Honor. I understand my client is on because I tried getting him at home and his mother informed me that he was in jail. But he's online. No, I need to get an offer from the state, Your Honor.
All right. So state, I'm going to send you, could you please go to a breakout room, family violence? If you're available, go to the breakout room with Mr. Young now, please. And I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, Mr. Young.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, the results haven't been inputted yet.
All right. So Ms. Lopez, we're going to reschedule you for when those results are in. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And my understanding, you have children. And
yes,
so, Rebecca, make sure they do field visits.
They do them weekly, ma'am. They've been coming up. They could be coming out weekly.
All right. Make sure they keep doing that because I don't know what's going on in her house.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me explain something to you, Miss Lopez.
Yes, ma'am.
Your children didn't consent to being moved from house to house to house because you won't get a stable home. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And this fiance you have, is he the father of your children?
No, ma'am.
All right, that's the other thing. How old are your children?
11, 10, 9, and 7.
Are these girls, boys?
3 girls and 1 boy.
All right, let me explain something to you, and this is coming from a place from my heart, because I've done a lot of child protective services cases.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
cannot be bringing men in and out your life around your children because you feel you need companionship. And I'm going to tell you what I would always tell my clients when I represented mothers in CPS cases who had children. I would always tell them, maybe this is a great man. Maybe he's a paragon of virtue. I don't know. But you need to start asking yourself, what person wants to take on all the baggage that you're bringing? And I love children. I think children are great, but some people, they see them as baggage. So you have a lot of suitcases that you're asking a man who's not the father of your children to carry. And the question is, why does he want to carry suitcases that are not his? So when you bring, because I saw and I read in the report, at first you're with your boyfriend, then you're living with your boyfriend and your sister and whoever.
Oh.
So here's the thing, you need to get a stable residence. Mr. Salmon, sit there and stop moving around. So do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And because you're out there testing positive for drugs, I don't know if you have COVID or not, but guess what? That meant that you were using drugs outside your home with people who may or may not have COVID, and you're bringing it back to your children. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, Rebecca, do you need to speak with her?
Yes, let me put me in a breakout room with her. I just want to verify that pill visits are part of her conditions already.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
John Roberson.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. Fabian Hernandez, Herrera, they just received the application yesterday.
Okay. When do you want to recall Fabian Herrera?
We can recall him for 30 days, Judge.
All right. Can you give me a date?
Yes, ma'am. We can call him back on May the 12th.
All right, Fabian Herrera, you're excused. We'll see you back on May 12th for your PTD update.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. And everyone, just give me one moment. Norma, what page is he on?
Page 12. Toward the middle, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right,
Judge
and just one second.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hutniak, where are you? Hutniak?
Council's present on that one, Judge. Sorry, I'm late.
All right, who is your client?
Mr. Hutniak.
Oh, I'm sorry. How do you spell the last name?
Sorry, we go through this every time, Judge, and I have to look for it. Hutnyak. So Hut and Yak.
All right, and is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial. It was Tom was the last one I spoke to.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. And John Roberson?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, who do you have?
I have Kevin Tyner, Tiner.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence, Your Honor.
All right, John, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Maritza, you're back?
Yes, ma'am. On this gentleman, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
So bottom line is we're missing a letter of interest that we've been asking him for. If he can get it to us by the end of business today, we can staff him tomorrow in our VTC staffing, and you'll have an answer by Monday at the latest. I'm also on the phone with John Herman. He said if he needs to be pledged or sentenced, whatever, you can possibly order it as a condition for him to complete that with us, but he has to complete the process with us, unfortunately, and he hasn't submitted the letter of interest. That's the only thing we're missing. He submitted everything else. That's just the only thing that we're missing.
All right, Colin Hobbs?
Yes, Judge.
Your client hasn't filled out all the paperwork and
I just
submitted what he
texted
needs
him.
to submit it.
Yes, Your Honor. I just texted him after we spoke with Maritza. He says he thought he sent it. I told him to check right now, and I just sent that text maybe 15 seconds ago. But it sounds as though he has it prepared and thought he sent it. So I don't know if it went to the wrong email address or what, but he's checking for me.
Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
can you recall Mr. Hernandez for Wednesday?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hernandez, I want you to listen to me very, very clearly.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
are to be in the 187 District Court in person, not on Zoom, on Wednesday. That's April 14th. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's no need to call a clerk or call anyone else. You are to be in the 187 District Court on April 14th, Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's 300 De La Rosa. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd just like to add, I wasn't aware of the showing up in person. Otherwise, I would have. I was just told this morning by my attorney. Otherwise, I would have been there in person, ma'am.
Do you understand that you're going to be here on April 14th in person?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right, see you then. And if you don't give them your paperwork, then that will be on you. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hobbs, do you have anyone else with us?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, if I may?
Yes.
There, just for the court's knowledge, with the courts reopening, we're getting kind of slammed. So we're doing about 6 assessments a week. And we're hoping to staff 2 to 3 each week as far as making decision-making, being able to get back to the court. And as soon as we make that decision, the referral outcome will be sent to, I believe, to Norma or your staff.
All right, thank you.
Maritza,
No problem.
do you want to go to the breakout room, or would you prefer us go to the breakout room for a follow-up conversation, Judge, or can we have it here?
Sure, I'll send you to a breakout room.
Thanks, Judge.
If you all will go back to the previous breakout room where you were assigned.
Will do. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Emmett, I'll call you shortly. You can log off.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, can you send Jesse Martinez to breakout room number 6?
All right, Jesse Martinez, where are you? Jesse Martinez.
It's like 0 for 2 today.
Yeah.
I'll go let Kathy know her client's not here.
All right, Judy Wimmert.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready on Mr. Ibarra?
If I could confer with him briefly in a breakout room, it shouldn't take long, and then we'll be ready to proceed to sentencing.
All right, if you'll go back to breakout room number 10.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
And Mr. Ibarra, if you'll go to 10. Javier Padilla. Javier.
Here I am, Judge. Here I am.
Yes.
Judge, case is a little confusing. Yesterday I received an application for mental health pretrial diversion from Charlotte Reyes at the Bexar County. I don't know anything about it. I didn't initiate it. The prosecutor doesn't know anything about it. But it appears like Mr. Fernandez is being evaluated for possible mental health pretrial diversion. So neither I nor the prosecutor is very well versed in the facts here. So we're just not ready to proceed right now. But if he's going to be screened, I think we need to give that process some time.
Norma, do you know anything about this? Norma Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I was trying to unmute, Judge.
Do you know anything about this Jerry Fernandez? All right, Brenda Levinstein, what's going on with your case?
I was just about to send a message to Mr. Brown. We have an agreement. She will accept one of his offers.
All right, and if you'll put that in the box to Norma Ferguson, please. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator.
Okay.
Victoria Cruz, you have Mr. George.
Yes, Your Honor. I think we can just confer, although we have a motion to appoint expert witness. I don't think the state will oppose that, but I would like to approach on that motion. We're just asking for $2,500 in funds for an accident reconstruction expert. The facts of the case warrant it, Your Honor.
Oops.
Do you have an expert?
We were going to try and secure funds before we assign somebody. We do have somebody in mind. It was the last person that we used for an intox manslaughter.
No, they're still going.
All right, if you get the motion, because the court is not in receipt of any motion.
I'll find it, Your Honor. I'll send the file stamp copy.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And there will be no issue with an expert being appointed, but let me see where we are in this case. My understanding is that you all are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just one moment. I don't see where I've given you a plea deadline date yet. Have you received all the discovery in this case from the state?
Yes, we believe so at this point.
All
and
right,
what I mean
so-
by that is, Roberto, let us know if you need some more. And Mr. George is present.
Yes. All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room because today is the day that the state was supposed to tender an offer to you.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, and who was the prosecutor you're working with on this?
Tom.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you.
And I will put on here that Tom is to meet you in number 1. Milton Butler.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe Mr. Sanders wanted to address you about this case. It's Joel Gale.
All right, Mr. Sanders, where are you?
Mayor Judge.
Yes.
So this is one where he has a second case that was just indicted. And then one of the reports references some much more serious cases that they listed him as an SP. I'm trying to figure out which unit of SAPD handles those cases. I'm looking into that today to see if there's going to be more charges coming down.
All right, when will you know something?
I would think that 2 weeks would be enough of a reset.
All right, Norma Ferguson, can I have 2 weeks on Joel Gill, G-U-E-L?
April 28th, Judge.
All right, Mr. Butler, unless you have anyone else with us, you and your client are excused.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, James Lidgey.
Who's speaking?
Jason Nitz.
Yes.
James Lidgey. Ms. Ferguson said she was going to look into getting him here.
Yes, I'm still working with the jail. They need some time because they have other inmates. So it's going to be just a few minutes.
All right, anyone else back? Kathy Starling?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I don't know if anybody's in the waiting room, but Mr. Martinez, he texted me at 8:03 this morning saying, hey, what's the Zoom link? You didn't send it to me yet. And I messaged him back and we chatted this morning up until about like 8:33. And so I have no idea why he wouldn't be on right now. I just tried to call his phone twice. I have bi-weekly contact with him, so I just can't even imagine what could have happened for him not to be here right now. Because like I said, he reached out to me this morning.
All right, let me find what page he's on. Just one moment. All right, I'll give him till 10:30.
Okay, I will keep calling him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyone else ready?
Judge, if I may.
Yes. Jorge?
Yes, Judge, can I check into the 227th? I'm supposed to be there also. And
What is happening with your PSI? Are you ready or are you not ready?
well, that was the other thing. I haven't received a PSI, so if I could get that sent to me in the meantime. We're waiting for Adrian Perez.
Okay, all right, thank you. To the probation, could you send Mr. Jorge Canales the PSI on his client, please?
I just need him to put his email in the chat, Judge.
All right, Jorge, put your email in the chat.
Okay, Judge.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
This is Maritza Stewart for the state. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, Norma, any update on Javier Padilla and Jerry Fernandez?
He's not on screen, Judge?
Jerry Fernandez is on screen. We're waiting on an update on his evaluation.
Oh, give me 1 second, Judge.
Mr. Canales, I already sent it to you.
John Pettis, are you ready? All right, everyone, I'm taking a break. You all call me when you're ready.
I'm ready, Judge.
All right, who's ready?
Your Honor, this is Oscar Hernandez.
Yes.
On the Myra Santos pretrial violations, I do have to switch over to Medina County for 10 o'clock for the custody case that was reset from March 17th. My clear understanding last week when we spoke, Judge, you might remember I was freezing out when we spoke late in the afternoon, was that we were going to watch to see if she made her appointments. The family advised me yesterday she has an appointment today at 11 o'clock. So while she's not here, I guess she didn't call in. No one said that she's called in yet. I'd ask the court's indulgence to see if she even makes the 11 o'clock appointment with pretrial again. I have not received any new violation reports other than one that you are asking to talk about. And we did have email communications that I did a three-way call with pretrial and my client and got them together.
All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to recall it at 2 o'clock. If your client is not here, warrant's going to be issued. This is the second time that this case has been called for her to appear, and she hasn't.
All right, thank you much.
You're welcome. Anyone else ready? Raymond Val, who are you here for?
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on behalf of Christopher Garcia, Your Honor.
Is it family violence or criminal trial division?
It is a family violence case, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna place you in breakout room number 3. A prosecutor will meet you there.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anyone else back and ready?
I am, Judge.
Yes.
On Mr. Hutniak.
Yes.
We conferred. Does seem like we're going to end up still staying on that trial docket. We've been through this before as far as the plea deadline before the new offer. So my client is well aware of what that means, and would like to exercise his right to agree.
Mr. Hutniak? Where are you?
I wasn't seeing him on here. I know he was having some problems last
Yes, ma'am.
time. There he is.
All right, Mr. All right, Mr. Hutniak, today is your plea deadline date. And I extended it because the state made a new offer. Your plea deadline has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. Defense, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Judge.
All right, state, I'll need a acknowledgement of discovery, and I'll need that by April 30th. And we will put you down for a jury trial, or would you like a bench trial?
Jury, Judge.
All right, we will see you for a jury trial. You'll receive notice. And we will make sure that you're first up. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. I'm also here on a motion for Frank Mathis. It's a family violence. If I can confer someone from family violence, we might be able to get an agreement on that before we approach.
All right, I will send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, I have Ramsey Gonzalez. I've conferred with the state, and I was asked if we can get a reset so that we could, I can discuss the offer.
Ramsey Gonzalez, are you here?
Should be in the courtroom.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to send you into a breakout room so your attorney can discuss the offer with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
What breakout room were you in, Mr. Dunbar?
I believe it was number 3.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And courtroom, if you'll go to 7, please. And to the prosecutors, there is Victoria Cruz on Caesar George in breakout room number 1. She says she's waiting for Mr. Nesbitt. To the family violence prosecutors, Raymond Bell is in breakout room number 3 on Christopher Garcia. Jeffrey Martinez for criminal trial division is in breakout room number 5 on Matthew Garcia. And family violence, John Pettis is in breakout room number 6 on Frank Mathis. Wayne Young. Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you get Mr. Solomon back in his chair? Where is he?
He just took off, Judge.
Could you have one of the deputies bring him back, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, this is Judy Wemmert. I'm
Judge, he has his handcuffs in the front when they should be in the back.
All right, let me take care of this. Just one moment, please. Mr. Salmon. Unmute.
It's my fault. I went to the restroom.
While you're, put your handcuff,
No, he just.
who put your handcuffs in the front? Unmute. Unmute.
Like that. You got court going on. I need him in the back. She said put him in the back. He said no. What?
Here's my question to you, Mr. Simon.
I didn't do nothing.
Be quiet. Stop behaving like a toddler. It's not cute.
Sorry.
Mr. Young, unmute. Are you ready to speak to your client?
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes. Are you ready to speak with your client?
Yes, ma'am. I've spoken with the ADA and they have given me an offer.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7. Mr. Solomon, you're going to breakout room number 7.
Okay.
And Wayne Young, do not leave breakout room number 7 until your client comes back to the main room. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. He's acting like he's immature. So everyone needs to make sure that there's an eye on him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ramsey Gonzalez, George Dunbar, did you have a chance to confer with your client?
Judge, I relayed the offer. We're not going to accept that offer, Your Honor. Probably needs more time. He's
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor. If I could.
This case has so many settings on it. So your plea deadline date has expired. So are you requesting a jury trial?
I'm not too sure yet, Your Honor, to take it.
Now, well, here's the thing. Today is the last day the court will accept an offer. You're going to either have a jury trial or a bench trial. It's up to you. I'll have your attorney discuss it with you, but today is your plea deadline date. So, Mr. Dunbar, if you'll go back to the breakout room with your client. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8. And Mr. Solomon, go to number 7. Thank you. Adrian Perez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who's your client?
Hilo Cisneros at sentencing. He's supposed to be there in person.
Yes, he is. Have you received the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you need to speak with your client?
Briefly, yes, Your Honor. And then I'll be ready to go in about 5-10 minutes.
All right. As soon as the courtroom is available, because they're in the breakout room with another person, we'll take you up. Victoria Cruz on Mr. George.
Yes, Your Honor. We've received an offer from the state. It's about as high as it can get.
Oh, well, I don't need to know the offer. But so the offer has been tendered?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Norma, on Caesar George, give it a 30-day reset. Mr. George, that's your plea deadline date. The court will not accept any pleas after that date.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Judge, on this reset, do you want it in person or on Zoom? Is that okay?
Zoom is fine.
This one? Okay, we can put it back on the docket. We'll do May 6th.
May 6th?
Yes.
All right. May 6th is your plea deadline date. Mr. George, what that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after that date. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at that time, when you come back, you and your attorney can let me know if you accept the plea offer or not. And Ms. Cruz, if you'll let me know if you all are requesting a jury trial or a bench trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm in receipt of your order for an expert and I am signing it.
Your Honor, if I may, we accidentally put $1,500 on there. If you could be kind enough to scratch out the 15 and put 25. That was our mistake.
Okay. All right. It is done.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else ready?
Yes, ma'am. Judy Wemmer on Isaiah Ibarra sentencing.
All right. And where is your client?
He's in custody.
Is he still in the breakout room?
I'm right here.
All right, thank you. Just give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, whenever you get a second, can you send Kevin Tinner to breakout room number 4? He's an inmate.
All right, Mr. Tinner, if you go to breakout room number 4. Laura, that is the first one that you called in there.
Yay, one win today, so.
All right, so let me see. Everyone, there is still Jeffrey Martinez in breakout room number 5, waiting for criminal trial division on Matthew Garcia. And John Pettis is in breakout room number 6, waiting for family violence on Frank Martinez.
Your Honor, Mr. Lidgey is now present. This is Jason Nitz.
All right, I'll send you in a breakout room with Mr. Lidgey. I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
Your Honor, this is just a compliance hearing, but he's been picked up. He's going to be he's set for a mental health evaluation for the.
Have you spoken with your client?
I have.
And does he have mental health issues? Do you believe he has mental health issues?
I
Have
believe
you spoken to him?
Yes, Your Honor. It's not a competency evaluation. It's for the mental health court program, the MHPTD, and so we're just waiting the interview and evaluation for that. But I've received contact from pretrial, and they recommended him for the program.
Well, has the state, are you aware of this PTD for a James Lidgey?
Your Honor, Jason and I spoke. He was picked up, I guess, after the evaluation was recommended. I don't know much more information than that. If they felt that it was a good fit for him, then that's fine with the state.
Okay, Norma on, let me see if I have his file. Oh, he's not. All right, Norma, on Mr. Lidgey, can we recall him in 30 days to see where we are on his pre-trial that I guess they're doing?
Judge, I'm right now with the mental health, I guess, pretrial diversion division. Can you give me just a second? I can find out what's going on his case as well.
All right, thank you. Just give us a moment. And Norma, what I'll do is I'll send you to a breakout room so I can take up the motion, the sentencing from Judy Wimmert. So I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 1. And Mr. Nitz, I'll send you to 1. And Mr. Lidgey, if you could go to 1, please. All right, and I'm still waiting on paperwork, Brendan Levinstein, for your client.
Yes, I'm working on it.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, with Mr. Gonzalez, Ramsey Gonzalez.
Yes.
So he's back. We're back from the breakout room, and so he wants to request a jury trial if we're having to make that decision today, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, Your
Come
Honor.
on the screen for me, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, this case has been reset since May 26th. So on May 26th, you had a chance to think about the offer. September 1st, you had a chance to think about the offer. September 14th, you had a chance to think about the offer. October 22nd, you had a chance to think about the offer. December 15th, you had a chance to think about the offer. February 10th, you had a chance to think about the offer. February 24th, you had a chance to think about the offer. And March 12th, you had a chance to think about the offer. And so now we are here, April 7th. So you've had several months to think about the offer. So are you rejecting the offer?
I never heard about that offer, Your Honor. This is the first time, but yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we will schedule you for a jury trial. And state, if I could have the acknowledgement of discovery by April 30th, please. All right, Mr. Dunbar, you and your client are excused.
Your Honor, if I may, just one additional thing, Your Honor. He is currently on a GPS. I was wondering if we could modify the restrictions to allow for work and doctor's appointments.
If you file a motion, the court will reconsider it, but I want you to be aware that your client has 4 no-shows where the court remanded him without bond and somebody removed it 4 different times.
I understand that, Your Honor. He was actually in custody a couple of weeks ago, and then and we had a hearing, and then in which you said you did set the bond with the GPS condition, and then I didn't realize that it was a full GPS, Your Honor. But he's unable to go to work, and he's got some doctor's appointments that he would like to be able to go to, Your Honor.
What type of doctor's appointment?
Psychologist and also dental. He has a broken tooth, Your Honor, and I believe he's got an injury to his wrist also. Those occurred while he was in custody.
All right, if you file a motion, the court will allow him to go to his doctor's appointments.
And what about work, Your Honor?
You'll need to confer with the state on that.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Judge Boyd, my attorney stayed in the breakout room.
Yes,
sorry.
he's coming back.
No,
but
he said if you want him to stay over there.
No, because you're being immature, the thing is we have to pay attention to you.
Okay.
So that's why you're here first, and then he's going to come out later.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, Ibarra on Judy Wimmer.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. So are we excused on Mr. Gonzalez? We were interrupted.
Yes, you're excused. Just file the motion and the court will sign it.
Okay, thank you, Your
And
Honor.
as far as him being allowed to do other things than going to the medical appointments, confer with the state, and we'll see if we can have an agreement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who is the other attorney who needed the their client was in the courtroom?
I was, Your Honor, Hilo Cisneros.
All right.
He had 2 lawyers, Jorge Canales, who's also logged on.
Because Parole's gonna send me back regardless.
I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 2 and to the courtroom. If you could go to breakout room number 2, please.
The 2 out of me, Parole. If they could run a CC with my Parole will let me do the 2, and then they'll probably let me back out after 2 years. They'll give me 4 years left.
All right, we're going to take up Ibarra. Everyone, mute yourself if you're not a part of this hearing. And who are the prosecutors on Mr. Ibarra?
Marcus.
Okay, and let me see if I have the PSIs. Yes, I do. Mr. Ibarra, if you can unmute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling 2000. There's a lot of noise. Mr. Ibarra, do you know how to mute and unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if you could for me, if you could mute yourself right now. And then what I will do, because we're getting a lot of noise and feedback from your end, when it is time for me to speak to you, or if I need you to acknowledge something, unmute yourself. If there's something you need to say to your attorney, or if you have a question, just raise your hand. I'm able to see it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, excellent. Court is calling 2020 CR 12333, State of Texas versus Isaiah David Ibarra. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Judith Wemmert.
And are you Mr. Ibarra?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video with the sentencing because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No objection.
No,
Mr. Ibarra, do you have any objection with the sentencing taking place by video?
No, ma'am.
And the court will note for the record that the defendant entered a plea on February 3rd, and that was done by video. And the defendant had signed a consent to appear by video. All right, according to your plea bargain agreement, the state proceeded on the lesser offense of robbery. Punishment was to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state was opposing your application for deferred adjudication, but recommending community supervision, and there was restitution, of course. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
yes, ma'am.
Are there any objections to the PSI report from the state or the defense?
No, ma'am.
All right, state you're opposed to the defendant's application for deferred adjudication. Can you explain to the court why?
Yes, Judge, we're opposed just based on the nature of the offense and the facts of the case. I believe also that he has some other cases that were pending at the time. And so if I recall, he had been, he was on bond for some misdemeanor terroristic threats and evading at the time. So that's why we're opposed.
All right. Ms. Wemmert?
Thank you, Judge. Does the court just want me to address the deferred or?
Yes.
I think that Mr. Ibarra, based on his mental health evaluation, has a long way to go in terms of dealing with how he got here. And I know that deferred is a carrot over their head. And I think that Mr. Ibarra could benefit from having this carrot over his head. And by that, I mean that, of course, the plea bargain is for 6, but the court would have the full range of punishment available should Mr. Ibarra violate and have his probation revoked. I think that's critical for Mr. Ibarra in order to get him to stay on course once he would be released from his mental health treatment facility.
All right. The court then is inclined to grant his application for deferred adjudication. And I'm looking at his criminal history. And also it appears that a lot of the issues that you face, Mr. Ibarra, are based on mental health issues. So I'm going to grant your application for deferred adjudication. Now, the only other issues are the issues of conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
So state, it shows that he's been approved for MIOF. And so what are the conditions? I see that there's to be no contact with Christian Fossil. Are there any other conditions, state, that you think will keep Mr. Ibarra on track?
No, Judge, the only other thing that we asked for was a community service and then restitution to Christian.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put him in MIOF, and when he's Mr. Ibarra, when you're released from MIOF, I'm going to have you placed on GPS for 6 months so that we can make sure that you keep up with all your mental health appointments. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and who is your support system? Are your parents around, or?
Only my mother and my brother.
All right. And I've looked at some of your background. Was Child Protective Services involved in your life?
I believe so when I was a child.
All right. And have you ever seen a psychiatrist before you accumulated this case?
No, man, I was trying to get one, but I was unable to.
All right, Mr. Ibarra, here's the thing. Are you on any type of medications?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what happens with people who have mental health issues who are on medications. They start feeling great, they stop hearing voices, but the medication has side effects. And they decide that they're no longer going to take the medication because they're feeling better. It's important that you stay on your medications. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If there are some side effects or issues with the medication that you're taking, what you need to do is contact your doctor. But if you go off those medications, things will probably happen, and things of a criminal nature, and we don't want to see you back here with criminal charges. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you understand if I grant you your application for deferred adjudication, and I've said I would, that if you mess up on it, you're going to end up possibly with 20 years in prison? Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you still want me to grant you deferred?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
All right. I'm going to sentence him to 8 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything early, Mr. Ibarra, the court will consider you, will consider terminating you from deferred adjudication early. But when I say complete everything, that means you're not going to be allowed to miss your appointments with your psychiatrist or anyone. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So it's going to be 8 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine. That'll be probated. Maya, restitution plus no contact with Christian Fausel, Fausel. After he's released from Maya, Rebecca, then it'll be weekly reporting until further notice. And Mr. Ibarra, you can weekly report by Zoom or in person.
Yes, ma'am.
And where are you going to be living once you've completed Maya?
With my mother.
All right. Does she know that you want to live with her?
Yes, ma'am. She does.
And is she okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Defendant is to reside with his mother. What's your mother's name?
Sylvia Casimir.
Sylvia Casimir.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you spell the last name?
Kazmir.
Yeah, but they bring it up during court.
I'm going to want field visits 3 times per week. And you should be receiving a case manager. So you're going to have to sign a release to allow probation to receive the therapy notes from your case manager. So Rebecca, if you can make sure he signs his releases for the case manager. It's 200 hours of community service restitution. Are you, or have you ever been employed, or are you receiving SSI?
I'm receiving SSI, but at the moment it stopped because I am in jail.
All right, so we're going to do proof of employment, or SSI, within 40 days of release. Well, I'm sorry, I'll say 90 days of release because I know it takes some time for you to get back on SSI. So 90 days of release. There'll be random UAs. Rebecca, does he need anything else?
No, ma'am. Were you gonna do the GPS 6 months after all?
Yes, thank you. GPS, waive fees. And that's for 6 months after release from MIOF. And also after release from MIOF, he's supposed to be on MIC supervision.
And Judge, he's gonna remain in custody until enters the DDRF, the MIAF.
Yes. Mr. Ibarra, what we're going to do is MIAF will get you stabilized, and MIAF will make sure that you have everything that you need. And then once they've done all the paperwork and done their evaluations, you'll be released and placed on the MIC caseload, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ibarra, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it, and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ibarra, good luck to you. I'm going to send you to a breakout room where probation will go over conditions with you. Ms. Wimmer, you can go to the breakout room with your client, and then you're both excused. But please have your client come back to the main room so we can excuse them from there. And I'll send you all to breakout room number 9.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you, Mark.
welcome.
Judge,
All
you
right.
ready for me to join them, or do you need me to
Yes.
stay? Okay.
No, because I haven't received the paperwork on Ms. Levinstein's client yet.
Judge, can you put Brenda's client L24 in a breakout room with her attorney? She hasn't filled out the paperwork yet. She hasn't signed it.
What is her client's name? Casillas?
Yes. L24.
All right, if you'll go to breakout room number 6, please.
And Judge, we're back from on James Lidgey.
Just one moment. Yes, on Mr. Lidgey.
Judge, I did talk to the coordinator in the mental health pretrial diversion. He has an interview on Friday at 8:30 to see if he's going to be accepted into the program.
All right, so let's do this. Let's recall him then on Wednesday or Friday of next week. When do you want to recall
She
him?
said that if he does want to be accepted, it'll take about a month for them to do everything, gather all his information and so forth, Judge.
Okay, but how are we going to know?
She's going to CC me on that email. She's going to email me.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, then I'll bring him back the following week.
All right, then let's do that. All right, if there's nothing else, you and your client are excused.
So you'll let me know then, Norma?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
May I approach when you have an opportunity, Your Honor?
All right, just one moment.
So I'm good to leave the room, Your Honor?
Just one moment. We'll get someone with you.
No,
Just a
sir,
second.
you wait there till I call someone.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Do you have information on Fernandez? That's also that mental health pretrial diversion.
The officer was telling me I had to go, but you told me I had to
Yes, you
stay.
can leave. You
Okay,
can
I just
leave.
wanna- I just want to make sure. All right,
All right,
you.
thank you. Wayne Young, what is happening with Mr. Salmon? And Alexandra, Norma, if you go to breakout room number 1, and Alexandra, if you'll go to number 1 on Fernandez.
I already have an update for you, Judge, whenever you're ready.
All right, just a moment. Wayne Young, what is happening with your client, Mr. Salmon?
December 18, 2000.
You're muted.
I just got out of ISN.
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes.
I explained the offer to him, Your Honor, and he tells me that he does not want to do the
No, I don't need to know what the offer is. I'm just wondering if you've had a chance to give him an offer.
I gave him the offer, Your Honor. He has not accepted it. He is basically telling me he does not want to do the TAP evaluation.
I wrote 5 letters.
There's not a call for him to do a TAP evaluation. Mr. Salmon,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, you received the offer for the state, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, are you rejecting the offer?
Yes, because there's a TAP evaluation
No.
there. Well,
My question is, if you're rejecting the offer or not. If you're rejecting the offer, then we will set you for jury trial. But today is the last day for you to accept the offer.
all right. So, yeah, I do not accept the offer.
All right, we'll
But
set
he
you,
said-
do you want?
Hold on.
Yes.
He said there was gonna be a bond. Why I'm in here, Your Honor, is because downstairs I had agreed to your terms and I got out on monitor because my mom, I guess she gathered up enough money to make my bond and they cut my monitor off and you issued the warrant for me. But
Who is
my mom
they?
had
Who is they?
downstairs the sheriff's department, Bexar County Sheriff's Department.
There's a reason why you were taken into custody.
Because my mom wanted to switch the address of my my monitor and she just told the cop, she was like, I just want him to switch his address, or I just want him to go to my grandma's house. And he's like, well, you got a protective order against him. So he brought me in for a protective order and my mom makes my bond on my protective order. And I get downstairs and they cut off my monitor and they turn it in. And the next day I come down and they say, well, your judge has issued a warrant for your arrest. And I was like, oh shit. I really didn't do anything wrong because they were gonna still let me bond out and be on monitor. But at the same time, they cut my monitor off and turned it in. So when you get a new monitor for a new charge,
No,
what they do
time
is
out. Did somebody cut his monitor? He's saying that the company cut his monitor off. Does anybody know if that's true?
Judge, what I know is there's a new VPO offense that hasn't been filed, a pending new offense.
All right, so Mr.
That's,
Salmon, you're gonna remain in jail. If your client wants to, if your attorney wants to file a motion for the court to hear that, I will. But the issue is, you've been charged, and I don't accept any of it as true because I've heard no evidence in either of the cases. You've been charged with continuous violence against family member.
Yes, and
What the state is telling me is you have a new violation of protective order. That's a problem.
Because my mom had made my bond, Your Honor, and it says on my contract to not be in contact with Imelda Salmon. And she calls the cops and says if he can switch his address. And I guess the cops brought me into jail because I had a violation of protective order. She told him, and he asked her name, and he takes my name, and he's like, oh, y'all can't be together. So he brings me in. My mom makes my bond. I get downstairs, and they take off my monitor and say you can't go to your cell with your monitor on. So that's why I'm in jail still, Your Honor. If I wasn't,
If your attorney wants to file a motion, the court will hear it. And then at that hearing, all parties can be brought in to testify and the court will hear whatever evidence is presented.
yes, ma'am. So does that mean I gotta stay in jail, or do I got a bond? He said he said the state told me that if I deny the offer, there's a bond for 40,000. Can we go lower?
You don't have a bond at the moment, and I want you to listen to me clearly, Mr. Salmon.
All right.
All right. So take a deep breath and listen to what I'm saying. Your attorney, Wayne Young, must file a motion.
Yeah.
He can file a motion to have your bond reduced. He can file a motion for whatever he wants done.
Yes, ma'am.
We will set it for a hearing. So you
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
be released from jail. What I'm telling you is you're in jail on a continuous family violence case. I'm not saying it's true, but if it's continuous violence against family, that means that within a 1-year period,
Yeah.
they're alleging that you've been abusive to someone in your family twice.
Yeah.
And now I'm being told by the state that not only that, you've going to be charged with violation of protective order. which means a protective order was in place and you violated it.
All right, so
So
ma'am,
your attorney needs to file a motion, and when
I
your
had
attorney
no-
files the motion, I will hear it.
I had no choice but to go to the address that was listed on my monitor, Your Honor.
Yes, all right. But you violated the rules.
No, but that was the address on my monitor. So I don't know where else to go besides that place.
All right, and what I'm telling you is, once your attorney files a motion, we will hear it.
All right, can I talk to him in the breakout room or whatever?
Yes.
All right, thank
Mr.
you.
Young, you're welcome. Mr. Young, I'm going to
Yes,
send
Your
you
Honor.
to a breakout room, number 8, with your client. And when you finish speaking to him, have your client come back to the main room.
Your Honor, I'm not sure exactly what it is that the court wants me to file, Your Honor.
A motion.
Here's the thing, Mr. Young. Your
Yes, ma'am.
client wants to get out of the Bexar County Jail. He wants his bond reduced. Somebody needs to file a motion for me to consider. If he wants an electronic monitoring device removed, somebody needs to file that, because I'm not considering any oral motions. So it needs to be filed. So if you'll speak with Mr. Salmon, and if you think you should file a motion, then file it. If you think you should not file a motion, then don't. But the court is not hearing motion for him to be given a bond reduction unless a motion is filed and witnesses are called. He has just informed the court that they, and by they, he means the company, removed the monitor from him. I'm more than certain that the court received notice that they did not remove the monitor, that he removed the monitor. So in order to clear up that confusion, witnesses need to be called. So at this point in time, Mr. Salmon is remanded without bond because he has a continuous violence against a family member and he has a violation of a protective order.
Yes, ma'am, and he's been given an offer on the violation of protective order that would take everything into consideration.
Here's the thing, I want everyone to remember, do not tell me what your offers are. Because if you tell me what your offers are, and if there is a jury trial and you come to me for punishment, then I will already know what the state has offered. So if the state asks for something else at trial, who knows? I may, in my mind, say, wow, well, the state was offering this before. That's unfair to the state because it's a part of plea negotiations. And if everyone will please read the rules, plea negotiations, whether you're on the civil side or whether you're on the criminal side, are confidential. So confidential means it's between you and the state and your client. Don't tell me your plea bargain agreements unless you all have accepted the plea and I'm hearing the plea.
I'm not trying to tell you the plea agreement, Your Honor. I'm just saying that the state has offered one. I have relayed that to my client and he is refused to accept it.
All she said
And
was
he
that
wants to
if
speak with you. He wants to speak with you. So if you all can please go to breakout room number 8.
I will, Your Honor.
And bring him back to the main room. Everyone, today is Wednesday. Let's not make it a Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anyone else ready?
Yes, Judge.
me,
Brandon
Judge.
Bell on behalf of Christopher Garcia.
All right, just one moment. Rebecca?
Yes, Ibarra needs to go into room 9 with us. He had, I don't think he was able to.
All right, what room were you in, Rebecca?
9.
All right, Mr. Ibarra, I'm gonna find you on the screen and send you to breakout room. Yeah, you should go to number 9. Mr. Ibarra, do you see the bottom of your screen where it says chat and breakout rooms?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, click on that breakout room.
Okay, I see it.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, if I may, real quick, I've not heard from Mr. Roman Gonzalez. You want me to
All right,
check
we're
in
gonna
at
take
10?
that up right now. And then everyone, I'll get to you shortly. Brenda, are you ready? Court is calling 2020 CR 3566, State of Texas versus Roman Angel Gonzalez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Alexandra Williamson.
For the defense?
Jerry Valdez Jr. for Mr. Gonzalez.
All right. It is 9 a.m. This case was scheduled to, I'm sorry, it's 10:40 a.m. The case was scheduled for 9 a.m. Deputy Laura, has Roman Angel Gonzalez been in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor, he has not.
All right, and I'll note for the record that the defendant was a no-show on December 1st, 2020, and the court recalled it for December 8th. The defendant was a no-show. The case was set for April 6th, 2021, and the defendant was a no-show, and the court is recalling it today, and the defendant is a no-show. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor, I've reached out to the bond company. They have not had any contact with them since December. The numbers that they provided for me are not valid. I can't get a hold of them, Judge, so I don't know how any other way to get a hold of them.
All right, State.
Yes, Judge, we'd ask that you revoke his bond and issue a warrant for his arrest.
That will be granted, and I'm going to remand your client without bond. If you're able to get in contact with your client, the court will reconsider once he presents himself.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Libby Weiderman, who do you have?
Sorry, Judge.
That's okay. Who do you have?
I'm Ramsey Gonzalez.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It is criminal trial.
All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 1. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Okay. Did he appear?
Yes.
Did he appear, Judge? Okay.
Norma, do you have any update on Jerry Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am. And the Spanish interpreter's coming in.
Habla español.
All right, Mr. Fernandez, just give us a second. We're getting an
Habla
interpreter.
español. Sí, bueno. Ajá, necesito.
Señor, espera un momento, por favor.
Kenneth Baker, who do you have? Kenneth Baker.
Good morning. I have Rudy Arce.
All right, that is criminal trial division.
Yes.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Judge.
Kathy Starling.
Hi, Your Honor. Your Honor, I have Jesse Martinez. Like I told the court earlier, he texted me at 8:03. He asked for the Zoom link. I don't believe he's ever.
Pardon?
Pardon?
Court is calling 2020 CR 2599, State of Texas versus Jesse Renee Martinez. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Alexandra Williamson.
For the defense?
Kathy Starling for Mr. Martinez.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:44 a.m. Deputy Laura, have you had any contact with Jesse Renee Martinez in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor.
And for the record, he has not been on the Zoom screen. Defense, have you had in contact with your client?
Yes, I have, Your Honor. I actually have frequent contact with Mr. Martinez. I talk to him probably bi-weekly via text or on the phone. He messaged me at 8:03 this morning asking for the Zoom link. I was delayed a little bit. He messaged back a couple times, and then I said, oh, I'm looking for it now. I sent it to him, but never actually got a confirmation. He received it, and I've been calling, and I'm really actually concerned about him because he's not like this. And I don't even think he's ever been late for your court, Your Honor. I don't think we've ever had a problem with him. And I would really beg for the court's consideration in just holding this over to even tomorrow, if the court has court, to try and figure out what's wrong, because this isn't in his character and not how he's presented himself to the court in the past.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd ask that you forfeit his bond and issue a warrant for his arrest.
All right, that'll be granted. Ms. Starling, if you can get in touch with your client and have him present himself by 2 today, the court will reconsider once he presents himself. Or if you discover that there are some issues with him, just bring it to the court's attention. But for now, I'll grant the state's motion.
And for clarification, Your Honor, when you say present himself, do you mean in person at the courthouse or via Zoom?
Zoom, or either in person.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I will do my best.
Yes, Ms. Casillas, if you can go to the breakout room that the court has requested you to go to, which is breakout room number 7. To the clerks, go to breakout room number 7 and please swear her in. Leo Gonzalez,
Yes, Your Honor.
who do you have?
I have Manuel Rodriguez. We have a hearing schedule 11 on a motion to modify bond conditions.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence, Your Honor.
I'll send you to breakout room number 3. All right, and Helio Cisneros, I'm going to take you up. Just let me handle the matter that involves the court interpreter. All right, Norma, what is happening with Mr. Fernandez?
He is scheduled for a meeting with the pretrial mental health diversion at 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. This Thursday, Judge.
All right, can you slow that down a little bit and tell Ms. Abrams so she can tell him in Spanish?
Yes, that he has a mental health pretrial diversion interview at 10 o'clock on Thursday.
Para el jueves tiene una entrevista a las 10 de la mañana para un programa alterno con respecto a la salud mental.
Mr. Fernandez, did you understand?
¿Me entendió, señor Fernández?
Sí.
Está en silencio. Yes.
Sí, pero el jueves que tengo
No, está en silencio.
no estoy en silencio, estoy escuchando.
Okay.
Estoy escuchando.
Yes, I'm listening. Is it this Thursday?
Estoy escuchando. Nada más es todo lo que me tienes que decir o
That's all you need to tell me? Is that everything you're going to
Yes.
say? Sí, señor, es todo.
gracias.
Thank you.
Can you send me to a breakout room, Your Honor, with him, please?
Yes, and he'll need to come back to the main room after you speak with him. Ms. Abrams, can you, oh, your client is leaving. Yes, he needs to go to breakout room number 1 with his attorney.
Yes, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And Javier, once you speak with your client, if you can have him come back to the main room. And Ms. Abrams, I sent you to breakout room number 1 as well.
Okay, Your Honor.
And let me find you on the screen, Mr. Padilla. There you are.
Is that 1 or 11, Your Honor?
It's 1. All right, we're going to take
Okay,
up
thank you.
Mr. Cisneros. Who's the prosecutor on this case?
I am, Judge.
All right, thank you. And anyone who's not a part of this hearing, I'm going to ask that you please mute.
Hey, Ms. Garcia, she's supposed to go to a breakout room to get sworn in, and she's here like fixing her hair and taking off her mask.
I've told her time and time again, people, why must you make a Wednesday a Monday? Brenda, you know, it's just one of those days, right? Everyone put some patience in your pocket. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 5984 and 2020 CR 4545, State of Texas versus Helio Cisneros. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Martin.
For the defense?
Adrian Bettis for the defendant on 2020 CR 5984.
Jorge Canales for the defendant and cost number and then 4545.
All right, and are you Mr. Helio Cisneros?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video with this sentencing because of the pandemic. It will be noted for the record that the defendant is in the courtroom, and this is one of the days where the court is allowed to have in-person hearings. Is there any objection from the state that we proceed by video?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense? Mr. Canales?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez?
No, Your Honor.
And it'll be noted for the record that Mr. Cisneros entered his plea on February 26th in each case by video. Mr. Cisneros, do you have any objections to this proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
And cause number 2020 CR 4545, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years. The state is opposed to your application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. And cause number 2020 CR 5984, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes.
State.
Yes, sir.
Defense Attorney Canales.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense Attorney Perez.
Yes.
Are there any objections to the PSI report? State.
No objection.
Mr. Canales.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez.
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, you're opposed to the defendant's application for deferred adjudication. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And is there a reason for your opposition?
Just the multiple cases, and in the case number, I believe it's the 2020-5984 case. In the PSI, the defendant claims to just have had sex with a minor and there not being any force involved, where the victim's version of the events are quite different than that there was force involved. So for that, we're opposed to his application.
All right, then. Defense, which attorney would like to proceed first?
I'll go first if Mr. Canales is okay with that.
I'm good with that, Judge.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses or is it just argument?
I think just argument, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Perez, you may proceed.
Judge, I'll address the state's opposition to community supervision first. Number one, Judge, I would like the court to take notice that even though these are multiple cases, they were committed within 30 days of each other. The sexual assault was July 2019. The robbery was August 2019. So notwithstanding that there are multiple offenses, it could be said that this is really a continuing pattern of criminal behavior. I don't think it's necessarily two separate offenses that are in the way people usually think about it. Secondly, Judge, the defendant does deny that force was used. He pled to this because even if force was not used, he is guilty because of the age difference. So that's why he pled to this. Now, I would like the court to take a look at the plea paperwork that the state submitted to you, specifically the exhibits. And if you bear with me, I'm looking at towards the end of the state's exhibit 1 in the plea paperwork, you'll see some text messages between the complainant and the defendant. The substance of the substance of those text messages, in my opinion, creates the impression that the sex was consensual. Again, notwithstanding consensual or not, he still is guilty because of the age difference. But I think that the state's own exhibit on its face establishes reasonable doubt as to whether or not this was forced. That being so, if there's no evidence of this being forced, what we are left with essentially is my client having sex with a girl that was just a little, too young. Based on my math, Your
When
Honor.
you say too young, what age are you saying?
I'll tell you the exact age, Your Honor. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I had this all prepared in advance. At the time of the activity, the complainant was 15 years and 8 months, and the defendant was 20 years and 11 months. That's a difference of 5 years and 3 months. I would ask the court to consider this sexual assault, being of the variety of where the age difference is the only reason for this being a crime in the first place. Again, based off the state's own exhibit. That being so, I think that deferred adjudication is appropriate in this circumstance. I think this is the type of sexual assault that does get deferred adjudication. I would also reference the PSI, Your Honor. This is the defendant's first batch of felonies. He's never been to prison. He's never done time in jail. He's not a gang member, past, former, or suspected. There is evidence that he might have some mental problems. Specifically, the PSI says bipolar and depression. There was a suicide attempt when he was very young, age 12 or 13. He only went to 10th grade. He never finished high school. He has 4 children, Judge, 3 stepchildren that he takes care of, and then 1 very young child who I believe is.
Salmon, Mark Anthony Salmon is done.
Excuse me, you're not muted. All right, continue.
So again, Judge, as I was saying, I think that this is the type of case where community supervision is important. I don't think that my client is dangerous. I think he made a mistake and had sex with somebody that was too young. And I do think that, notwithstanding that the police report has statements purportedly from the complainant saying that this was involuntary, I think that the complainant's text messages cast reasonable doubt on that. Again, he's still guilty regardless, but I do think that it puts him in a different category. So Judge, I'm gonna ask that you put him on deferred adjudication. The TAP evaluation states that he should be evaluated for a dual diagnosis residential facility, followed by Genesis, followed by sober support programs. All of that is fine, in addition to whatever other conditions of community supervision you grant him. I do think that he would be successful on probation. I don't think that he will cause you any problems or come back. With that said, then Mr. Canales is the lawyer handling the robbery case. So that's all I have for this case.
All right, Mr. Canales.
Yes, Judge, as to the robbery, I agree with what Mr. Pettis has presented to the court. And as to the robbery, Mr. Cisneros stated in the PSI, as he has told me also, that he was trying to retrieve a phone he had given the victim, and in an excited state, I guess the circumstances ended up as a robbery because he took the phone from her, and I believe there was some broken windows in their vehicle, but I don't think they harmed her at all at that time. So I'd ask you to consider deferred because of his young age and the facts of the case. And I believe he does need, as the PSI states, some sort of evaluation and treatment as far as a mental health state. So I'd ask you to consider granting him the application.
All right, Mr. Cisneros, is there anything you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record, please.
Hilo Cisneros.
All right, what would you like to say?
I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to do this. This is one of the biggest mistakes of my life. And now that I see it, my kids are gonna grow up without me. I know I could do better. I know I could go through everything. If you were to put me on stuff, probation or anything, I would go through it.
All right, let's backtrack a little bit. So you're saying this is the biggest mistake of your life? No, this is not a mistake. This is a choice you made.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand.
So who is Diamond Hernandez?
That's my son's mother.
So at the time, that was your girlfriend, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were living at your girlfriend's house.
I was staying there.
You were staying at your girlfriend's house because you and Miss Hernandez during this time period were still in a relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So while you're staying at your girlfriend's house, the complainant would come to sleep over at the house, correct?
She was staying there because the stepfather they were being touched by the stepfather or something like that. It wasn't just her, it was her and her sister that was staying there.
But you knew how old she was, right?
No, I did not know how old she was.
Come on, Mr. Cisneros.
No, I promise.
You have a girl who's being touched by her stepfather. That's what you're saying. And she comes to live or to stay at your girlfriend's house, and you're telling the court you didn't know how old she was?
No, ma'am, I wasn't into their business like that. All I heard was something like that. That's all it was.
Anyone want to clear that up with your client pretending he didn't know how old she was?
Mr.
Or maybe
Cisneros.
he didn't. Is that the sword he's falling on, that he had no idea that she was only 15, even though she's coming for sleepovers?
No, man, I understand. I knew she was young. I didn't know how young she was. I didn't know the age. I promise you, ma'am, I'm not lying.
You knew she was underage, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you knew she was underage. You're at the
Like
home of the mother of your child, and you are having sexual intercourse with somebody that you know is underage at your girlfriend's house. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then I've read the text messages and I understand what you're saying, Mr. Perez. I read the text messages that you all are back and forth because I guess you want to have sex again. Well, I don't know why you're shaking your head. That's what the text messages say.
Yes, ma'am, that was messaging.
She's saying, you want more when we know for sure we won't get caught? Okay. And so clearly you knew this is not a case where you didn't know she was underage, because what are you guys trying to not get caught from? The fact that you're having sex while the mother of your child goes to work and these girls come over for sleepover. And then it's like, can I F you? And then she comes back. I feel like that's a trick question. And you do question mark. And it's like, I don't know, man. And then, of course, using a racial slang term. So come on, where's your sister? Outside, I think. And you? Come, let me F you real quick and you can get back out the room before they come back. OMMG. I'm not up on my lettering, but what is OMMG? I know what OMG is, but when you add the extra M in, is that another mine? Does anyone know?
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, you sent it. What is OMMG?
It's probably oh my God or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, probably. I don't remember.
And then it's like, let me see a sexy picture of you. Well, it's not right, fam. I have sexy pictures you want to see. And then there's two, I guess these are eggplants. And then it's that P is all mine. Nah, man, you belong to somebody else. My D is in all that PD. Did you miss me effing you with this big D? But it did. Did you like it? Did it happen more than once? Yes. So there's your answer. So is there anything else from either side? Anything else you would like to say, Mr. Cisneros?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll hear argument. If there's argument from either side, any further argument?
Not from the state.
Your Honor, notwithstanding the substance of the offense, I still ask the court respectfully to grant him deferred adjudication. Clearly, he knew that she was underage, regardless of whether or not he knew her actual age. He knew that she was underage, but notwithstanding that, this is a violation of the law because of the age difference and solely because of the age difference. So again, I respectfully ask for deferred adjudication.
Okay. Mr. Perez, anything?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Canales.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd ask that you consider granting the deferred adjudication in this case and allow Mr. Cisneros to have a chance at redemption. That's all I have, Judge.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. And cause number 2020 CR 5984. The court will deny your application, find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. This run concurrent with cause number 2020 CR 4545. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance. No contact with Sandra Enriquez, Diamond Hernandez, Sandra Flores, and Elisa Newton. Give you credit for any time served. And in cause number 2020 CR 4545, the court will deny your application, find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. This is run concurrent with 2020 CR 5984. And there's to be no contact with Diamond Fernandez or the Circle K at 606 West Theo Avenue. And each of the cause numbers, Mr. Cisneros, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you electronically sign them?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And because these are felony convictions in each of these cause numbers, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cisneros, good luck to you.
You too. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
I be excused, Judge.
Yes. The parties on Emily Casillas.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, who's the prosecutor? All right, is there?
That's me, Judge Brown.
Gordon Brown.
Court is calling 2021 CR 0251A, State of Texas versus Emily Casillas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jordan Brown for the state.
for the defense?
Brenda Levenstein for Ms. Casillas.
And are you Ms. Casillas? I need you to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state or the defense?
Objection from the state.
No.
Ms. Casillas, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you application for community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, I'm showing you, Ms. Casillas, what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you review it completely with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Casillas, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand what you're charged with is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
No.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Ms. Casillas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $100 fine. The state recommends community supervision. There's no application for deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $57 to the San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry, could I see the state and the defense in a breakout room, please? Let me see where you are. Brenda, if you'll go to number 6. And George. All right, we're back on the record, and Brenda, if you could make sure you're on mute.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. It always happens when you leave the breakout room, you're automatically muted. Ms. Casillas, as part of the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your punishment be assessed at 180 days in the state jail facility, but they're recommending community supervision, and there's a $100 fine. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, with 2 years probation.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't gotten to that yet.
That's okay. Defense is state, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Casillas, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
Not in this case.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right, then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. State offers states one and attachments.
Any objections?
No objection.
Ms. Casillas, I'm showing you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand today that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, lab reports, police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, state, is this the only case that's going to be filed against Ms. Casillas?
Yes, Judge. There were some additional drugs recovered, but they were filed on a co-defendant. The less than a gram case we have is the only case that the state has at this time.
All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, please.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Ms. Casillas has work once she's released from jail and will be able to complete her probation by doing everything that's required of her, reporting and paying the fines and fees. And she's really trying to move away from drugs and all that stuff in her life and just move forward and not get in any trouble anymore. That's her goal.
All right, Ms. Casillas, do you have any children?
I have one.
What is the age?
She will be turning 11 on the 13th.
And where is she?
She's with her grandmother. And for 2 years, I've been working on getting to at least have visits with her. And I have been staying out of trouble, and this, like, it's been following me since I got in trouble. But I've been clean. I broke off of heroin. I've been clean off of that for 2 years. And I'm just trying to pick up the pieces I left off to get to even have visits with my daughter.
All right, so have your parental rights been terminated?
No, I don't believe so. I just know that her grandmother had a parental guardianship and her father passed away. So it would only be me and her grandmother.
What type of work have you done in the past?
I worked at Red Lobster, and now I would be working as a property manager for some apartments. In California, I believe I was a care provider. That was years ago though.
So what is your drug of choice?
Methamphetamine.
How far did you go in school?
10th grade.
Why didn't you graduate?
I got pregnant and had to take care of my daughter. So I quit school to work. I also enrolled like 2 years ago, I believe, in welding school, which I want to pick up as soon as I get out of here.
Where are you going to be staying?
At my aunt's. I stay at my aunt's, but at the place that I'm going to be working at, I would be renting out my own apartment. And I have the address if you would like that too.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $100 fine. That'll be probated. 180 days in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 2 years. 100 hours of community service restitution. There's to be no contact with Rebecca O'Brien.
Okay.
O-B-R-Y-A.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no apostrophe there, so who knows how pronunciations go. I'm quickly learning that the rules we learned in school don't apply these days to pronunciations. Parenting classes, CPS compliance if applicable, proof of employment. There's to be no employment with vulnerable persons. What that means is you cannot have any employment that involves you supervising minors.
Okay.
You cannot be a home health care provider. Intensive outpatient treatment with probation. The 100 hours of community service restitution will be waived if you complete trade school or obtain your GED. There's to be random UAs, field visits 2 times per month, and they will be random.
Yes.
And no unsupervised contact with minors. If you are able to get your life together, maybe I will change that part, but for now, you're not to have any unsupervised contact with a minor. So what that means is your child, you can't be babysitting your child and be alone with your child. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. And I completely understand that.
All right. Is there anything else that you need to be successful at this probation?
No, that'll be it.
Rebecca, does she need anything else?
No, but just to clarify, proof of employment within how long?
Thank you. Proof of employment, I'll give her 30 days from release. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Rebecca, you are in, let me see what breakout room. You're in breakout room number 9. Ms. Casillas, I'm going to send you number 9. Ms. Levinstein, you can go to number 9, or either you're excused.
Okay.
All right,
And I'm
Mr.
sorry, Judge, you are doing the 57 to SAPD for drug testing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Good
All
luck,
right.
Casillas.
All right, thank you.
Judge, sorry to interrupt that. Do you still need me? We're back from the break room and the attorney explained everything to his client.
All right, thank you. You're excused. Thank you so much for
Okay.
coming, Arlene. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Your Honor. Nice seeing you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, you too. Wayne Young, you're excused.
Judge, can you put me in a breakout room with my client who's in the courtroom, please?
All right. And who is your client, Jaime?
Jose Isadoro Hernandez.
All right, I'll see you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
John Robertson.
Yes, Your Honor. If I could go to a breakout room with Laura again.
All right, let me see where you were. Did you sign out and sign back in?
I did. My sound went out, so I had to click out and get back in.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Laura
Thank you, Judge.
Metzel, could you go to breakout room number 1, please?
And
Yes,
may I
Judge.
approach, Your Honor?
Who is asking to approach?
Raymond Bell on behalf of Christopher Garcia.
Yes.
On this one, Judge, he's actually was set today for pretrial violations. I talked to the state about it. The issue is no one's been able to reach him or contact him. I know the numbers we have are not good for him. We did not have enough time to try and contact him by mail about today's court appearance because we didn't receive it until yesterday evening. I was hoping the court could recall it maybe the next Friday, give me a chance to send him a letter, see if he'll appear before the court issues a bond increase and a warrant for his arrest.
I will give him till Friday.
Okay, Judge.
Norma, Mr. Garcia, can you recall this on Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Everyone, just give me one moment. All right, Mr. John Pettis, you have been waiting patiently.
Yes, Judge. I have Mr. Frank Mathis, although I believe it's Laura's the one I was conferring with about this. There's not an agreement, but I can sit back and wait patiently again for Laura to come back out.
All right, just give me a moment. All right, Javier Padilla.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
So Mr. Hernandez is going to be evaluated tomorrow for a mental health pretrial diversion. I spoke to him and told him what's going on, and I think he needs it. I don't know if he's incompetent, but he's certainly incoherent. So hopefully that's what he needs.
All right, thank you. We'll let you know, so we won't lose track of him. We'll let you know when we receive updates. Ms. Ferguson will receive updates.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Is he
You're
still in the
excused.
breakout room, Judge?
I'm sorry, what?
Is the inmate still in the breakout room?
Let me see.
I don't think he's.
No, I think you had already
Yeah, I
sent
think
him
he
back,
left.
Norman.
No, I haven't sent him back. I think
Yeah.
they were in the breakout room talking.
No, he's gone. I don't see him
Okay, I'll call
anywhere
the
on the
jail
screen.
just to make sure they picked him up.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Judge. Thank
You're welcome. Wayne Young, is there a reason you're still here? You're muted, Wayne.
Judge, can I speak to you in a breakout room, please?
All right, is this about your client?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Solomon?
Joe Ray, Judge.
All right, Joe Ray, if you can meet us in breakout room number 3, please. All right, everyone, just give me a moment. Wayne Young, if you'll go to 3. Norma, could you go to breakout room number 3, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Leo Gonzalez on Manuel Rodriguez.
Yes, Your Honor. Can I be put in a breakout room with him briefly?
All right, Manuel Rodriguez. Is he in custody?
No, Your Honor. He's listed as Manny Rodriguez on the screen, but he just stepped away from his computer, it looks like.
All right, just give me a moment. Who's the attorney on Frank Mathis? All right, Manuel Rodriguez. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6. And Leo, I'll send you to breakout room number 6. All right, John Pettis, your client Frank Mathis is here.
Yes, Judge. That's the one that.
And Manny Rodriguez, you need to take off that cap. You're in a courtroom. Yes. Frank Mathis?
Yes, Judge. We're waiting on Laura for that one.
Okay. And then is there any, Kenneth Baker?
Yes, Judge. I've confirmed with the state on Arce.
Yes.
And we're just going to leave it on the trial docket. But I did file a motion regarding his GPS monitor. Is this a good time to hear it, or?
Sure. Mr. Arce, is he still in the breakout room?
No, he's. I see him on the screen, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Arce, if you can unmute.
Good.
All right, who are you conferring with, Kenneth?
Tom.
Tom Nesbitt. Well, as soon as Tom comes back, I'll take up your case. And to the clerks in the back, if I have, Mr. Baker said he filed a motion for a GPS modification. If I could have that motion, please.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, this is Tom. Were you calling?
Yes. Norma, I'll deal with that at another point in time. Just give me a moment. Yes, Mr. Baker on RC, he wants a modification of GPS restrictions.
For a waiver of fees, Judge, I don't know if the court can do that. He's just out of a job, living with his folks. They lost their residence and he's behind on his payment. He's always in court every time.
Well, I mean,
wait.
Yes.
If it's just fees, no objection.
Yeah. I'll sign the order to waive the fees. And what I will do, because I don't really have jurisdiction to force them to waive fees, but I will put down waive fees and also to have them placed on the indigent list.
Okay, that sounds great, Judge.
All right. And Norma, on Mr. Arce, my understanding is that he is asking for a jury trial. Defense, do you want a jury trial or a bench trial?
A jury, Your Honor.
All right, state, are you able to get to the court the acknowledgement of discovery on these cases by the end of the month?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I will put you down for a jury trial. Mr. Arce, your plea deadline date has expired. So that what that means is after today, the court is not accepting any plea bargain agreements. Do you understand? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll schedule you for a jury trial. You and your attorney are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, and Norma, I will meet you in breakout room number 4, please. All right, Leo Gonzalez, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor, we're back. Ready to proceed whenever the court is.
All right, and Rafael Leal, I see you're back. Have you talked to Mr. Vela? All right, I'll wait till he unmutes. What are we doing with your client, Mr. Rodriguez? Leo?
Yes, Your Honor. We filed a motion to modify bond conditions to amend it. He's currently on GPS to remove the GPS monitor. So that's the only request we have at this time, Your Honor.
All right, and did you confer with the state? Any objections?
Yeah, we oppose it, Judge.
All right, then we'll go on the record and we will hear it. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 11644, State of Texas versus Manuel Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please?
David Martin for the state.
I'm sorry, for the defense.
For the defendant.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your
Mr. Rodriguez, do you have any objections to this hearing taking place by video?
No, Your Honor. And I apologize
All right.
about the cap.
No problem. This is a hearing on a motion to amend bond conditions. State, have you have a chance to review the motion?
Yes.
All right, State, are you ready to proceed on this motion? I mean, do you
Actually,
have you had enough time, or do you want a continuance? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, we've had enough time. The only concern is that there's a police report that was just filed that's not ready for us to obtain that may be pertinent. But aside from that, I mean, we've had enough notice of the hearing.
Mr. Gonzalez? The state is, you're muted. The state is telling the court that there is an outstanding police report. Did you want to wait for that police report, or did you want to go forward?
Your Honor, I'd like to get the police report. I was made aware that there was going to be a police report filed from the complainant in this particular incident. She informed my client that she was going to be doing so prior to letting the prosecutors know. So I'd like to see what's in that first as well before we go forward. And if that's going to be used in any way type of evidence in this particular hearing, I'd like to have an opportunity to review it as well.
All right, State, when do you think you'll be able to get the report to Mr. Gonzalez?
Usually it doesn't take more than a couple of days. So hopefully by Monday, I can get it to him. So if we could recall this maybe on Tuesday next week. That should
Is
be
that
enough.
enough time for you, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor, as long as I'm able to get it prior to that time. If it's not, haven't received it at that time, then I will let the court know.
All right, because we can reset this for next week, or either we can set it the week of April 26th. Would that be better for you?
I think that might be better just to make sure that we were able to get it, review it, and then everybody has an opportunity to discuss everything that's involved in that particular report.
All right, Norma, on Manuel Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you recall this on the motion to amend bond conditions for the week of April 26th, and that will be by Zoom?
Leo, could you put your email in the chat for me so I can email it to you when I get it?
Will do.
Are you guys gonna have witnesses, or it's just?
I guess it kind of depends on what the report says, but at this point, we have one witness who's on right now, Mr. Rodriguez.
All right, Norma, maybe we can just set it in the afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. We can do it for the 26th, Judge.
All right, so we'll see you all back here on the 26th at 2 p.m. And Mr. Rodriguez, That will be by Zoom, so you will appear by video.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, Oscar.
All right, if there's nothing else, then all parties are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you still there or did you?
All right, thank you.
Judge, whenever you get a moment, can you send Defendant Tenor to breakout room number 1?
All right, Mr. Tenor, if you could go to breakout room number 1, and Norma, I'm going to send you to the breakout room number 3. And Mr. Tenor, if you go to breakout room number 1, please.
I don't know how to do that, Your Honor.
If you'll see at the bottom of your screen where it says chat, breakout rooms,
Chat.
click on the one that says breakout rooms.
Okay. Which one? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Just something to drink. Yeah.
So how much do you want me to get?
Whatever's left over.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Just one moment. Yes.
I just completed the plea paperwork with Jose Hernandez. He's in the courtroom. The only thing I didn't get was the cert of appeal. I don't know if you do a separate one or if you just use the one in the plea bargain.
All right, let me send you to a breakout room with your client and the clerks will meet you there. So if you'll go back to breakout room number 2, please.
Thank you, Judge.
And I'll send the clerks to number 2.
Okay.
And everyone, just one moment. John Perez.
Hey, Judge.
Hi, I'm Mr. Mathis.
Yes. Judge,
yes.
Whenever you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready. Mr. Mathis, what's going on?
So for Mr. Mathis, we filed a motion to amend conditions of bond to amend. He is on full house arrest. We are trying to amend that to put him on partial to allow him to work. At this point, we do not have a current job location or anything around those lines. We're just trying to get him.
Is this agreed to?
No, Your Honor, it's not.
All right. And Norma, can you go to breakout room number 2, please? For paperwork. All right. Are parties ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
David, did you get my chat, my email?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes, maybe excuse again, Judge.
Yes. Court is calling CM 078639, State of Texas versus Frank Mathis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Laura Metzler for the state.
For the defense?
John Perez for defense.
All right, are you Mr. Mathis? You need to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense? Can't hear you.
No objection, Judge. I would ask that the client be allowed to mute. There we go. No objection.
No objection.
All right, we're here on a motion to amend conditions of bond. Are both parties ready? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Judge. Getting out, committing a new crime. They are allegations of through one incident. My answer to that is he still needs to be able to work. He still needs to be able to afford to pay for the home that he lives in, support his family, and pay for as well. I am actually only on even one of these cases, Judge. So even motions would be filed on the rest of them. which I am not on those. There's a separate counsel on those. So just keeping the court apprised of that. These are all.
So the family he's supporting, is this the complainant that's in the assault, family choking, strangulation case?
Not to my knowledge, there's no.
And Judge, the assault, family choking case is a different transaction from the other offenses he's on bond for.
All right, so how many cases total does he have?
He has 10 pending with our office.
Okay, so you only gave me 2 other cases.
So I was pointing out the evading, and he also has a felony escape case, Judge. So the cases he has pending with our office right now are an assault, family choking from November 13 of 2020. They walked a warrant on him for that case. An evading vehicle on 12/16/20. Possession with intent to deliver, 12/16/20. An assault peace officer on 12/16/20. A felony escape case causing bodily injury on 12/16/20. A failed to ID on 12/16/20. Resisting arrest on 12/16/20. The possession of marijuana on 12/16/20. He also has another evading vehicle, and whether this is duplicate or not, I'm not aware, from 12/19/20. And then he also has an at-large filing case that still is awaiting review for an assault bodily injury, Mary Cohab.
So just to clarify, Judge, 6 of these cases are actually where he's actually on bond. There are 4 of them that apparently are awaiting filing that have not. He's not on bond for those. They're not in front of the court. The assault, possession, the assault peace officer, evading arrest, both evading arrest and the escape, the only ones that are actually filed, and all but one of those are out of one offense date.
That's not actually correct. They're all filed except for the ABI family.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. I'm going to deny the motion for now. Mr. Perez, he can seek employment through computer, through cell phone, come back to court if he actually has an appointment to meet someone for a job. The court will consider that. But I'm not, based upon all of the history that I'm being told, and Mr. Mathis, I'm not taking any of it to be true because I haven't received any facts on the case. But based upon the number of cases that you have, I'm going to need more than just you're out looking for a job that may or may not exist. So, Mr. Perez, have your client look for employment online. I think that's how they're doing it nowadays anyway. And then if he has an employment appointment, then the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Mathis, good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. I have one more.
Who else do you have?
I have a late addition to the docket. It is a motion to amend conditions of community supervision for Roland C. Lopez, 2018 CR 0165.
All right, just give me one moment. All right, I'll have to get the motion on that because the court doesn't have it.
This whole time, I'll wait longer, judges.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Kathy Starling.
Hi, Your Honor. Good to see you again. I was able to get a hold of Mr. Martinez, and he is logged in. It actually says connecting audio Galaxy A01, and his audio has been connecting since before you started that last hearing. He went and got another phone from a friend's house to try and use that one. He's obviously having significant tech issues today.
All right, just one moment. Who is this person listed as Zoom user who's driving? All right. Just give me one moment. I'm gonna have them give me the file back. All right. Raphael Leal.
Present, Judge.
Yes, what is happening with Mr. Vela?
Well, I confer with Mr. Martin, and he conveyed an offer. I talked to Mr. Vela. I conveyed that offer to him. He wants to consult with his family. I also informed Mr. Martin that there was probably CPS records in the case, and he told me that he's gonna issue a subpoena today. So I'd like to have an opportunity to see if I could review some of those documents in preparation to do my due diligence, Judge. So I'm asking for a reset.
All right, as soon as the court coordinator comes from the breakout room, we'll give you a reset. Just give us a moment.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Vela, could you unmute yourself for me, please? If you look at the bottom, it's where it says breakout rooms. If you could click on that. It says chat, and then you'll see breakout. I'm sorry, it says chat, and then it should say more. Do you see where it says more? Or is a sign popping up for you to unmute? There you are, Mr. Vela. Thank you, okay?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Vela, we're gonna get you a reset so that your attorney will have an opportunity to see the CPS records. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I know that you're saying that you speak Spanish only, so next time we'll make sure we have an interpreter for you, okay?
Yes. Yeah, I speak a little bit of English.
That's okay. John Robertson, what is happening with your case?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been conferring if I could go back in with Laura one more time. I think we may be close to resolution.
All right, if you can go back to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge.
And Norma, on Mr. Vela, can we have a reset for discovery? Just give them 30 days.
May 7th.
All right, and I need the file back on Kathy Starling's client. And you said May 7th? All right, Mr. Vela, we're gonna see you back on May 7th for discovery, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, can you let them know that 14B can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, Lupe, if I can have the file on Mark Anthony Solomon, please. All right, so Kathy Starling.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your client obviously is having difficulties connecting to audio. So the next time he's going to have to appear in court.
We understand, Your Honor.
And have you had a chance to discuss with the state the offer?
I did, Your Honor. The state actually tendered a new offer because apparently there was a case out of the same transaction that is not under seal, but hasn't been filed yet. I don't know the exact terminology they use. When Mr. Martinez was able to get a hold of me at 11:30, I was just so focused on getting him into the courtroom and making something work that I didn't even convey the offer to him or talk about this new case.
All right, how much, Norma, can you recall Mr. Jesse Martinez for 3 weeks, please?
The 28th.
All right, we're going to come back on April 28th. Your client will need to be in the courtroom, Ms. Starling, if he can't have the Zoom work for him.
Yes, Your Honor, we really appreciate it. And like I said, this is the first time, but we really appreciate Your Honor's patience.
Oh, no problem. And I'll recall the BF, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, you and your client are excused, and if you can call him on the phone and let him know.
I will.
All right, everyone, we're going to break in a few minutes for lunch. Who are the parties on Jose Hernandez?
I'm here, Your Honor. We have a
Alexandra.
agreement. Jaime Aldape.
All right, and I need, yes. You took it. Mhm. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 1789, State of Texas versus Jose Hernandez. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Alexandra Williamson.
For the defense?
Jaime Aldape.
And are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
The court
Your
will
Honor.
note for the record that the defendant is in the courtroom. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review that discovery with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you a document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Affidavit. I'm sorry, Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
What you're charged with is a theft under $2,500 enhanced. That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, you're to agree that you've been previously convicted of 2 or more felonies for enhancement. Punishments be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility.
Your Honor, it says TDC, I believe. It should be a third
Got a
degree.
repeater enhancement, Your
Look
Honor.
at the repeater, it's a third degree.
Okay.
State jail, Your Honor, on the paperwork initially, and then I put repeater and then chose the third degree punishment.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you again court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you understand that in the indictment, you're charged with theft under $2,500 enhanced? Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that's a state jail felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in a state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on a repeater allegation? And based upon that repeater allegation, that enhances the range of punishment to a third degree felony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So did you understand then that the range of punishment for the offense as a repeater is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand that the court does not have to follow your plea bargaining agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargaining agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, you're to agree that you've been previously convicted of 2 or more felonies for enhancement. Punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration County Court Cause number 653903 and 653608. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Hernandez, to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and attachments.
Mr.
No objection,
Hernandez,
Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can I see the parties in the breakout room, please? Mr. Aldape, if you'll go to breakout room number 3, please.
Okay.
Hey, Robert or Lupe, are either of you guys there?
Yes.
Hey, is there any way you guys can, on John Roberson's case on Mr. Tinner, is there any way you guys can email him a copy of the indictment?
Yes. How many? Hold on, Judge. What's the defendant's name?
I'm sorry?
What's the defendant's name? The one in the indictment?
It's
Kevin Tyner.
Tyner.
Okay.
Kevin Tyner.
Kevin.
Tiner.
Okay, I'll do it in about. I'll do it in a little while because Judge has me do something else. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Lupe.
Thank you.
I got it, Lupe. I'll send it to him.
Thank you, Norma.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, may I approach whenever you have a moment?
All right, Robert, I just sent it to you. Or, I mean, John, sorry.
Thank you.
Judge, you're muted.
We're back on the record. It's been a Monday, Brenda. It's a Monday on a Wednesday. We're going to proceed on, we're back on the record, I'm sorry, in 2021 CR 1789. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to read the enhancement allegations to you. Please let me know if they're true or not true. It says, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, hereinafter styled the primary offense on the 3rd of September 2015 and cause number 2015 CR 8928 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant was convicted of the state jail felony of possession of controlled substance, pulmonary group 1 less than 1 gram. Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am.
No, is it true or not true?
He wants you to say true if it is in fact true, so you can say true.
True, Your Honor.
All right, and then the next allegation, it states, and on the 7th day of October 2020 and cause number 2020 CR 9103W in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the state jail felony of theft under $2,500 enhanced. Is that true or not true?
True, Your Honor.
All right, the court will find both enhancements true based upon your plea of true and based upon state's exhibits 1 and attachments. And the court will find there sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
The only thing he wanted to say is that he's sorry, he does accept responsibility, and that's part of the reason why he just is telling the court he's just going to turn himself in today or right now.
Okay. All right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. Court will take in consideration 653,903 and 653,608. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
No,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, good luck to you. We can close the record. You've got to stop stealing. Otherwise, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Be excused, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, everyone, we're going to take our lunch break. Unless someone's ready with something, which I don't think it is, the court reporter needs a break. Yes, so we're going to come back at 2 o'clock.
Judge Boyd?
That's my name, yes.
Yes, my name is Jeremy Alcaraz.
Yes, I know you were zooming and driving, which is something I don't allow in the courtroom.
I wasn't trying to miss court, ma'am. I'm sorry.
How could you miss court when it's zooming?
I was
You were
zooming.
zooming and driving.
I apologize.
Yes, so I'll see you back at 2.
Okay.
All right, everyone, we'll see you back at 2.
Real quick, John, before we leave, can you put your email in the chat?
Yes.
All right, and everyone, it'll be the same link. And I will see everyone after lunch. We're going to